Hello lovely people in YouTube land, I'm Sarah and today I'm going to make a vegetarian casserole. This is made with kumara or sweet potato, essentially a kumara and barley casserole or stew depending on how you decide to cook it. There's a couple of different options there, but like any kind of casserole or stew you can throw in just about anything. But I will show you the base recipe that I use. This is super yummy and I wanted to share this one because it's probably the only time I've attempted to make a casserole that has not got meat in it and I've wanted to make it again. So I'm going to start off with a large kumara. Now this is about 650 grams, a couple of smaller ones, whatever suits. I'm just going to dice that up. I'm not going to peel this because a lot of good nutrients in the peel. If you really do want to peel it, then by all means do so. You can always make kumara chips with the skin. But I'm just going to chop this into like bite-sized squares, however big you want them on your plate. Drizzle some oil over this, just canola or whatever type of oil you've got. We're going to put salt and paprika on this. Don't ask me how much, I just do it by eye, you know, however, it's kind of a to taste thing, I guess. Smoosh the salt about over them. Sprinkle the paprika. Smoosh that around. So I've just sort of used a heaped teaspoon of paprika on there. I'm going to chuck that in the oven. 180 degrees, and I'll put it on fan forced just until that kumara is nice and tender, and I'll show you what to do in the meantime after I've washed my very paprika smooshed hands. While they're cooking, they'll probably take about 25 minutes to half an hour maybe. Now I'm just using this kind of a pot, the kind that can go straight from stovetop into the oven. If you don't have a pot like that, it's not a biggie. You can actually cook it completely on the stove top if you want to. So I'm going to put a bit of oil in this frying pan. I'm going to chop up one large onion and put that in there. Now chop it up however you want. I tend to make it sort of slightly chunky-ish. Now at this stage I would add either 3 garlic cloves or 3 teaspoons of crushed garlic. I encourage you to do that, but I'm not going to because I've just realised I've run out. And I'm going to slice up a large carrot. Again, just slice it however you want. I like doing it in sort of half circles. We're just going to let them cook for about 10 minutes, just stirring every now and then until they start to soften nicely. Just put a little bit of water in there to create some steam. Put a lid on and that just lets them steam. So I'll just leave that for about 10 minutes, just giving them a little mix up every couple of minutes. Alright. So, that's softening nicely. Now at this stage, you can add, excuse the jug boiling in the background, you can add any other type of veggie you want to in there. I've got a bit of cabbage that needs using up, and I've also got a few just random veggies left from last night's dinner, so that's just all going in. Into here, I'm going to add a teaspoon of cumin, give that a good mix around. Now, this is where our barley comes in, just dried barley. You can buy it in bulk from somewhere like Bin Inn. They might even have it in the bulk bins at the supermarket, or you can just buy it dried in packets. You don't want it canned or anything, you don't want it pre-soaked, you just want dried barley. I'm putting 150 grams of dried barley into here, along with about 700 ml of boiling water. You could even add, instead of the water, you could add, if you've got your own homemade veggie stock. But I'm just going to add 1 veggie OXO cube into this. Just crumble it in. And that does seem at this stage like a lot of liquid, but you've got to remember that barley has not been soaked, and so that's gonna soak up all that liquid. We put a lid on. Now at this stage, you have options. You want to let that cook for 30 to 40 minutes, just depending on what kind of consistency you want. Just keep checking it, see if it needs anything added, if you want to add a bit of salt and pepper in there, if you think it might need another veggie stock cube, if you just think it needs a bit more liquid or something like that. But you can pretty much just leave it to bubble away. I actually like to, because you'll find at this stage your kumara will probably be done. That'll be starting to get nice and soft. So I actually just take my kumara out of the oven, just leave that to one side, and I pop this in the oven while the oven is still warm. So I just keep the oven going at 180 degrees, pop this in there for 30 to 40 minutes, and I'll show you the next step. So I've just got some dinner rolls on the go on top of there, just to have next to it. But we're just 10 minutes to go, and I'm just going to pop that kumara back in there. Give that a stir up, and we're just going to leave that for another 10 minutes, just to let those flavours all come together, and then we'll dish it up with some of those bread rolls. I do recommend a dollop of Greek yogurt on top. It goes really, really nicely. Just smoosh that around a bit of a taste of this. Oh yeah, bit of the mixture, bit of the yogurt, bit of the kumara. Oh yeah. Not quite the same without the bit of garlic that I was missing, but the flavours in that kumara are so yummy with the bit of salt and paprika in there. In my opinion, what really, really makes this is the barley, the texture of it. It just adds such a, what's the word? Just a nice slightly, I won't say chewy, but a slightly firm texture. But of course they've absorbed all that moisture. And it is just so yummy, it is so nice. I'll, if you look below in the description, I'll link the recipe for my 15-minute dinner rolls too. They are great for having next to this, especially if you're feeding a large tribe. But I highly recommend the Greek yogurt on top too. That just brings all those flavours together. That is so, so yummy. Adjusted the camera for Dad's dinner review.
That.
And he's a meat eater, big time.
That's actually really nice, especially with the yogurt.
It was only lacking a little bit of garlic that I ran out of.
Yeah.
That I added last time.
Yeah, I thought it was different from last time, but that's still really nice.
Yeah.
I'm generally not a vegetarian person, but hey,
yeah.
It's great. Yeah.
Cool. There we go. Clint endorsed. If this video and any of my others are helpful to you, hit that like button, leave a comment, hit subscribe, and we'll catch you next week. Bye.